Hey, today I want to talk about Unlimited Love by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I also want to try this new lapel mic. I got a new microphone. Maybe it sounds a little bit better. I think the sound here in my house or apartment is kind of echoey. So sometimes the sound is maybe not the best. And also because I stand, I don't know, a few 4 or 5 feet, 1.5 meters away from the microphone of the camera. Maybe the sound is not the best. So I'll try this beautiful lapel mic. I bet you can't even see it unless I pointed it out. So today I'm going to talk about Unlimited Love by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. There it is. The reason why I want to talk about it today is because they just announced that they have another album coming out. It's coming out on October 14th. And I just lost the title of it. It's The Dream Canteen Return. The return of the Dream Canteen. They just announced it, I think, a week ago. As I record this, it was a week ago. And that made me kind of think, all right, I want to talk about this album, Unlimited Love. And they're kind of related, even though I've not heard a note of Unlimited Love. I was talking about this with my friend Kevin Montavon, who I've mentioned several times in these videos. It's too much. Sometimes it is true. In my opinion, you can have too much music. So this album, Unlimited Love. No, let me backtrack a little bit. My Red Hot Chili Pepper history. I've been into Red Hot Chili Peppers since 1989. I bought Mother's Milk in 1989. I knew them before that. I thought they sucked. I heard True Men Don't Kill Coyotes in '86, whenever that album came out. Didn't like that band at all. And then when Mother's Milk came out, I thought, oh, this is a band now that I can get into. And so I really liked Mother's Milk. I have multiple albums to show today. Blood Sugar Sex Magik. Not only do I love it, this is, I did a video of this last year in my other series called I Love This Album. Don't get confused. This is, I want to talk about this album. Blood Sugar Sex Magik was I Love This Album. This is possibly a top 10 ever album for me, Blood Sugar Sex Magik. I love that album. And then I'll maybe also take this time to say welcome back to my life, Red Hot Chili Peppers with Unlimited Love. There are a lot of things I want to talk about, not just the album. So many things. Where do I start? I also really liked One Hot Minute, which came after Blood Sugar Sex Magik. And then Californication, I liked a lot. That was a great album, killer album. And that was, I don't know if it was coincidental, but John Frusciante came back because he was on Mother's Milk. And going back, I loved, and I still love, maybe my second favorite Chili Peppers album is Uplift Mofo Party Plan. Freaky Stallion, the self-titled album, I don't like that much. So One Hot Minute, Dave Navarro came in to replace John Frusciante. Then John Frusciante came back in Californication, which I loved. I thought it was like a great follow-up to, it was, even though it wasn't the next album, it was really what should have been the next album after Blood Sugar Sex Magik. And then what happened after that was Stadium Arcadium, which I also have here. Was this after Californication? I think it was. Californication was like 99. This was 2006. Did they go that long between albums, or did I miss something? I think it was that long. I'm going to go all over the place. I couldn't tell you one thing about this album. I bought it when it came out because I was very happy. I was still a big Chili Peppers fan at that point. And when this came out, just looking at the track list here, the first song is Danny California, not Danny Californication, which I never got into that song. And then the next one is Snow with double parenthesis, Hey-O. I remember the song title. Looking at these song titles, I don't know a single song. Hump the Bump, She's Only 18, Slow Cheetah, Wet Sand. I don't know one note from this album. Even Danny Californication, Danny California, and Snow. I don't know anything about those songs. And I just wasn't interested in it at that time. I don't know why. And then their next album was I'm With You. No, I forgot By the Way. By the Way was also a mostly excellent album. Yeah, how could I forget that? There's some great stuff on By the Way. Don't know how I forgot that. And then Stadium Arcadium, which was the last one I bought until, let me go back to the props, until Unlimited Love. And then they did The Getaway, was their last album before this one. Now, here's where I'll start to talk about this. I'm going to try to put it all together, and I realize I'm already really, really rambling. As I said, some albums are too long. Blood Sugar Sex Magik is one of the rare albums that is long and killer. I love every song on Blood Sugar Sex Magik. As I said, maybe a top 10 ever album for me. But other than that, some albums, I've mentioned this before. I talked in the last one I did these about Brant Bjork, that his Mankind Woman album was 40 minutes, which is perfect. All those old, my favorite, the Kiss albums, Van Halen albums, they were 32, 33, 34 minutes. The Beatles albums were, I guess, around the same, 30 to 35 minutes. Black Sabbath albums and AC/DC, the classic ones, were all, I think, 38 to 40 minutes, somewhere around there. And then when CDs came out, bands, I don't know if they felt an obligation to fill it, or if they were, I don't know if that made them more creative. But I think long albums, they take away, the good stuff that's on the album is taken away by all the extra stuff. When albums were 40 minutes, bands focused on those 40 minutes, and that was it. But now, or not now, but in the late to mid 80s, when CDs started to become big, and they could fill up 74 minutes, and then later, I think 78 or 79 minutes, maybe they started thinking, hey, we can put more. And some people like that. I don't. I have a friend back in Canada called Josh Gabriel, who's a recording artist. He has some good stuff out. And I talked about this with him. This is when I still lived in Canada. This was probably in 2005 or 2006. He likes long albums. He said, well, if you don't like it, you can skip over the songs and go to the next one. I think the opposite. Why skip a song? If you've got 10 songs and you like them all, how is the album made better if you had other songs that are not as good? Which I know it's not right to say aren't as good, because some things that I think are not good, other people like. I'm really rambling. But these Red Hot Chili Peppers albums, now I think they did it right this time, breaking it up into 2 albums. Unlimited Love, which came out earlier this year, maybe in May, I think it came out, April, and The Return of the Dream Canteen, is that what it's called? Is coming out on October 14th. That's okay that they're separate. But Stadium Arcadium, I think one of the reasons why I didn't get into it was because it was just too long. It's like an hour, 2 hours, and maybe close to 2.5 hours, that album, way too long. And Unlimited Love is 73, 74, plus there's the bonus song called Nerve Flip, which makes it another 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. And I don't always have, it's not that I'm the busiest person in the world, but I don't always have 74 minutes to listen to an album. Give me 35, 40 minutes, I'm good. And it sticks with you more. And to me, I think it's even a little bit arrogant for a band or a musician to think that they can produce enough good music to keep people's interest for 70 or more minutes. I don't know. And what else? I think the other ones, I think By the Way was around an hour, maybe 65 minutes. The other ones, I don't know, The Getaway and I'm With You, maybe, I don't know how long they were. But I don't know. And I think a good example of that is of bands that did it right, separating them. Metallica did. Now, I've been a Metallica fan since 1983. Yes. And I love Death Magnetic. I talked about that a couple of years ago, how much I love Death Magnetic. And I think what was great about that, or what would have been worse about that album, was maybe 2 years after it came out, they released an EP called Beyond Magnetic. There was 4 songs that they recorded during the same sessions, but for whatever reason, they left them off. Maybe they didn't think they were as good or as strong. And so, in my opinion, if they had put those 4 songs on the Death Magnetic album, I wouldn't have liked that album as much. For one, it would have been too long. And the 4 songs that were on the Beyond Magnetic EP, I think are just not as strong. The best song for me on Beyond Magnetic would be my least favorite song on Death Magnetic. Now I'm talking about Metallica. But that's what I think. The Red Hot Chili Peppers albums, they're just too long. 17, including the bonus track, 18 songs on Unlimited Love. Plus, on the new one, Return of the Dream Canteen, I think there's another 17. 35 songs. That's a lot for 1 year. I know some people would love that. I'm not sure I do. As I said, that album is not coming out until October, so I haven't heard it. But sometimes more is not better. Sometimes it's such a cliche, but sometimes less. It's true. Sometimes less is more. Now about this album, I think another reason, getting more specifically to this album, John Frusciante came back. He's been gone since Stadium Arcadium in 2006. So he was out of the band 15 years. Well, between albums, at least 15 years. He came back, I guess, a couple of years ago. Obviously, COVID delayed the release of this album. Now, this, and I'll include myself in this, because this was the return of John Frusciante, and Rick Rubin produced this one as well. And he didn't produce the last one, which was The Getaway. People love familiar names. I think that's why, I'm not going to get political, but I think the reason why Joe Biden won the election is because he was a familiar name, or not even why he won the election, why he was the candidate for the party, the Democrat Party, was because he was a familiar name. He wasn't maybe the best choice. People like familiar things. So when the Red Hot Chili Peppers announced that John Frusciante is coming back and Rick Rubin is coming back, everybody, including me, gets excited. Now, I don't care about Rick Rubin, but I do care about John Frusciante. And I think it gives you an automatic reason to think that you're going to like that album. It plants the seed that, hey, we know that you liked our albums with John Frusciante. You loved Blood Sugar Sex Magik. You loved Stadium Arcadium, and Californication, I think, was even bigger than Blood Sugar Sex Magik. And John Frusciante played on that. So if he's back, that must mean the new album is going to be good. And I'll admit, that definitely got my attention. And that was why I bought this album. Although I did hear Summer of Love, not Summer of Love, Black Summer, Summer of Love. And I did like it. But maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe I only liked it because I knew it was John Frusciante on it. Who knows? Now, as far as producers go, Rick Rubin, for me, producers are meaningless. Kind of like I sometimes make sports analogies, equate them to caddies in golf. Some caddies to golfers, they really, really help professionals. I'm talking about. Some of them, they really help them. They give they don't just carry their bag, the golfers' bags. They give them, advice. They're motivators. They're, a helping hand, a shoulder to cry on, almost like psychologists. Other caddies, they just carry the bag. To make another sports analogy, an album is not going to be good just because Rick Rubin produced it. Or I've heard so many people going back to Metallica, so many people over the last, 30 years, something like that. Metallica should get Fleming Rasmussen back, who produced Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. Somehow people think that if Fleming Rasmussen produces a Metallica album, that they're going to like it as much as Master of Puppets. And that's not going to happen. If you don't write good songs that people don't like, it doesn't matter who produced it. And I'll equate that with another sports analogy. The Golden State Warriors of the NBA in 2016 or 17 or something, they won 73 games. They only lost 9 games, I think, that year. And their coach was Steve Kerr. So people like to give Steve Kerr the credit. Well, what happened, if I have this correct, the next year Steve Kerr had back surgery, and he missed the first 30 games of the season. They had, I don't know who coached them, but somebody replaced Steve Kerr. And in that time that Steve Kerr was gone, the Golden State Warriors won like 29 out of 30 games. They only lost 1 out of 30 or 2 out of 30 or 1 out of 25, something like that. So it's not the coach, it's the players. And it's not the producer, it's the band and the songs. But John Frusciante was a big thing. That's why I was excited. That got my attention. And now for what I think about this album, I do like it. I would even say it's my favorite since By the Way. I didn't buy The Getaway, and I didn't buy I'm With You. I did buy Stadium Arcadium, but as I said, I never got into it. I like Unlimited Love. Now, I don't know it well enough to talk too much about every song when I do these things. I go track by track. I don't know this well enough to do that. But I do like Black Summer. It's been a long time since I made a new friend. Waiting on another black summer to end. I like that song. Here Ever After is the second track. Which one is that? I like that one. I do like that one. Aquatic Mouth Dance. Poster. Let me just go through. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. These are the ways. I like the one. These are the ways when you come from them. These are the ways when you come from America. The sights, the sounds, something like that. That's a good song. My favorite one from this album is Poster Child. That's for sure the most fun song in this album. Very, you could even say classic Chili Peppers. Very, very, my goal in life is to memorize the words to this song. I listen to that song all the time, and I get a few words together here and there, but I need to put it all together. They reference, for me, Motorhead, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin, Thompson Twins, Duran Duran, I don't know, some other bands, and just I will be your poster child. I like that song a lot. But the rest of these 17 songs, I don't dislike them, but there's nothing that really, really stands out except for the ones I mentioned. They're not bad songs. I don't dislike them, but they all kind of have the same feeling. Blood Sugar Sex Magik, which I'll go back to. It was also 17 songs, but it had a lot of variety. They're red hot, just a short, fast, fun, quick up-tempo, very, very fast song. I Could Have Lied, I'm such a fool, my eyes could never keep their cool. Showed you, and how I showed you, but I'm fucked up now. I love that song, I Could Have Lied. They had other fun songs. Suck My Kiss was good. Apache Rose, Peacock, I Could Not Speak, I Was in Shock. I Told My Knees to Please Not Knock. That's a great, fun song. Some kind of more, serious, a little bit, maybe aggressive songs. The Power of Equality, the first song. Under the Bridge, a little bit of a ballad. What else is on Blood Sugar? Give It Away is obviously a very fun song. Suck My Kiss. Naked in the Rain is another fun one. Greeting, very fast, up-tempo. Driving around, got my baby in my top down. Merry-Go-Round, I listened for my love. Great album, as I said, and my lovely man. But this, going back to this one, this is terrible. If you're watching this for the first time, I apologize, because I'm very all over the place. I'm not focused. But this, all the songs kind of have the same vibe, or not all of them, but a lot of them. I've listened to this quite a few times, like given it dedicated listens. I do still listen to albums from front to back, and I've listened to it many times, including today. And sometimes you kind of don't realize that one song ended and the next one began. So I think, is the next album going to be this Dream Canteen? Is it going to be 17 songs like that? And there are a lot of people that are still complaining after all these years, decades. Why don't the Chili Peppers, they think, they keep saying that the Chili Peppers have sucked for years. You're not going to get Uplift Mofo Party Plan. They're not going to, I don't think, do any more songs like, Skinny Sweaty Man or Me and My Friends, or a lot of those, the fast songs from Uplift Mofo Party Plan. It's like, again, with Metallica, people think they're not going to write songs like Whiplash or Metal Militia. Just accept that, and accept it for what it is, and maybe you would like it more. So that's it. I don't know if I have anything else I realized this was not just about Unlimited Love, but also Blood Sugar and a little bit of Stadium Arcadium. That's all, I do believe. Now, I will also say one last thing. The Chili Peppers are now probably the band that I would most like to see, the band that I'm anticipating, or that I would be most excited about if it was announced that they were coming here. Now, maybe Rage Against the Machine would be number one. Chili Peppers probably number two. There are a lot of bands I would like to see return to Mexico, but those two are my top two. Yeah, Rage Against the Machine for sure, and I would love, more than anything, a new Rage Against the Machine album. So I'm happy to welcome the Red Hot Chili Peppers back into my life because I was a pretty big fan of theirs, and welcome John Frusciante back. Other than that, don't have too much to say about Unlimited Love. I do like it, just a little bit long, goes on. Cut it down to 10, 12 songs, and I would be more focused on it. So that is it for my crazy rambling all over the place Red Hot Chili Peppers Unlimited Love.